Hello there, my name is Mero, and this is the live commentated guide for speedrunning Ultimate Angler 5 Islands. Now before you start, there's going to be a couple of things you're going to want to do. For this category, with the current known strats, you are going to need to be able to reset play coins. It is generally helpful for categories such as Prelude RTA, which only uses about 100. And just in general, if you use your 3DS fairly frequently. But it is pretty much mandatory for this run. The details for it can be found in the description. I'll leave a link to a Discord server where you can get the best up-to-date information on it as well. You don't want to go into those menus. You just go down in here. You hit 300, let it load, and then back out. It is mandatory that you do it through the homebrew launcher. That's just for accessibility. So if you have like 11.3, for example, as your firmware, you could use sound hacks. I got mine personally as set up through custom firmware. But any way you can do it will work just fine for our method, for our purposes. I'm going to go down here. I'm going to delete my save data for the game because you do have to start on a clean save. And I am also going to change my hat to something a little more inviting just before we start. There we go. That's cute. And now we begin. So time is going to start when you choose yes on this menu. That'll be 3, 2, 1, go. That's a nice split sound. So, right off the bat, if you've played this game casually, you might notice it's like, wow, it's twice as fast as it usually is. That's because if you hold either L or R, pretty much every animation in the game will speed up. And that saves, obviously, so much time. Now you can hold L, but it'll leave a slight delay after each text box, which adds up fast. And one thing you might notice is that this is in Japanese language. It is the fastest language, but I happen to run it just because it is the cheapest capture card. You also do not need a capture card. Anything you have to record your screen, I used an iPhone for my first handful of runs. Anything will work. So here in the intro, we're going to select the first option and throw the red bait. Holding R once again. If you need to let go of R to get better reactions, that's fine. You'll get better at it with time. And then of course you just reel that bad boy in. Anything will work, either the touchscreen or the circle pad. As far as we know, there's no difference, just use whatever's most comfortable for you. Now this section here is fairly scripted. Not a whole lot going on one way or the other. Then throw the blue bait, because if you throw the yellow, you'll get a piece of trash, and that's not good. And see there, if you get an amazing reaction instead of a perfect one, the fish will be a little more angry, it'll take a lot longer to reel in, and at the point we're at right now, those seconds will start to add up. It's not a huge deal breaker as long as your line doesn't snap, but if you can help it, try to go for a perfect. Alright, now we're going to use X to merge all these bait. And then, of course, select with A. Going to toss it in. The strategy I used to use when I was starting out is I would, like, tap the R button over and over. And that would speed up the game a bit more, but not all the way. Now, what you saw there is that the gauge in the middle, which is the line's tension, kinda got over the gauge, and that's a little bit risky. That's not something I would recommend doing all the time, but if you have a small fish like that, and it's pretty much a handful of meters away, if you're playing on like the US version, it'll say feet instead of meters. I think it might say yards. And then you will be out of the intro. And if you're holding R for this cutscene, it'll just go by a lot quicker. It's a very scary cutscene. I should have given you a warning. But, that is that. for the intro, you pretty much just hold R for a smidge. On Japanese, it's like, I think it's like 50 seconds this cutscene is. So you can tell when you close out the results box exactly where you're going to be when you're out of the intro. It's a little bit longer on US, I don't remember exactly how much. For your first run, it really won't make a significant difference. And then I split when that door closes, personally. And this is why we needed all those play coins, because we are going to buy 10 helpers, and 10 pieces of bait will come with them. Now you want to pay close attention to the colors of bait they're throwing out, because that's going to determine what you do once we actually get to the fishing spot. And again, I am holding R here to drastically speed it up. If I hold L, you see that like half-second delay between each text box? That's not good. But of course, if you don't hold either one, the text won't scroll at all and you'll lose yourself a bunch of time. So now we're just going to hit A handful of times here. We're going to go to the first area of Prelude Island. So you can see there that the fish has a pretty lengthy number of bait preferences. Doesn't make a huge difference now. If you had like brown and pink, brown and blue, whatever works. And of course you want that good reaction. Then just pull them on in. That is exactly what we're looking for. It may not happen the first time that you try. That's okay. This game is pretty RNG heavy, so you might not get him the first try. And then what you're gonna do once you have him, give it one try or two, take all your bait, mix them up, toss them in, because we're trying to get to level 3. That was an okay reaction. Like you can see there, the gauge is already a lot more full. The fish is already getting angry. And for bigger fish, that could spell doom if you don't have a better fishing rod. So that is that. We're now out of there. Something that I personally forget to do a lot is put a fish in the tank when this next menu comes up. You have to put a fish in this tank. You have to, or you can't leave. So just mash A, don't hit the option. You'll be given a handful of items. The game likes to shower you with rewards for doing pretty much normal gameplay stuff. So hit yes here, and then just mash A until a fish goes into the tank. Then hit B to escape. And then you can hit the bed icon to just restart the day, or go to the next day, I mean. Buy a few more dudes. It does help, especially later on, to pay close attention to the colors that you're going to get. Especially when we get to the later areas of the game. Like you can see there, blue, purple, brown, dark green. You'll often get a lot of repeat colors. Like, we have a lot of greens and a lot of blues this time. Depending on the spot you go to, that can be really helpful. Or it could screw you, basically. So here, blue and green, very nice. So you just... I personally, as I'm menuing down on with the D-pad, I like to hit the R button so I can see exactly what I need for the fish I'm trying to get. So for this guy, we need white, we need blue, and we need green. You see, that was not the best reaction I could have gotten. The meter's already full, the fish is already angry. It's going to take a little bit more time to reel him in. That's something you want to try to avoid if you can help it. But the statistically likely thing did happen, and we did get the rainbow trout we were looking for. There's a full list of fish and their bait preferences in the description that I like to refer to a lot when I'm starting out. or if I'm de-rusting. And we're just going to take what we have and toss it in one more time. And of course, if you need to take the reactions a bit slower than I do, like if you need to take your finger off the R button entirely, that is A-okay. It's something you'll get better at the more you do it. The more, the more you play the game, you can look for whatever cue helps you the most. It does help to have audio, though, because I find that I can react to the sound faster than the visuals. But whatever works for you will be what you need to do. Alright, then we're gonna buy some more boys. Look at those precious, precious boys. So something I tend to notice when I'm playing casually, or when I did play casually, is that the menus will not advance until either the screen is fully faded in, or like an animation is finished playing, and it can look like those things are over before they actually are. So be careful when you're menuing, because it can eat inputs. Welcome home, Hasfar. To your home, not the stream necessarily. I mean, you're welcome to the stream, but the stream's probably not your home. Anyway, this combination we have here is not stellar. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to see what the other fish don't like. Brown is something no one else likes. White is something the crawfish likes, so we're going to try to avoid it. But generally speaking, if you have one thing that your fish likes and one thing no one else likes, it'll still be better than just tossing in one piece of bait. I think that's about as good as we can do for now. And oftentimes, this time it looks like it worked out. It doesn't always. That's just something you gotta be prepared for. Oh lord. And you want to be reeling in as much as you can while the fish is at the green levels where he's not as tense. There's green, yellow, red, and like flashing red. And the difference being that green is the most calm, where you can get the most distance for the least line tension, and red is the other way around. Like you can see there, he's yellow. It's about filling up the same. You can push the gauge span just a little bit, but if you're just starting out, I wouldn't recommend going overboard with it. Like, it's better to lose like 2 seconds to, let's say, what am I saying? You know, it's better to lose 2 seconds to slowly reeling in a fish than losing, you know, a whole minute, because that was your only shot to get it, and then you have to buy a whole nother set of coins. So, coming up is the first boss area. As you can see, we hit level 3 safe and sound, so we are allowed in once we get to this next screen. All right, we got good bait for this one. I'm gonna try to show a poor combination, but it might end up working out in our favor anyway. So this boss fish likes red, dark green, black, and purple. But only, I believe it's red and green are the two baits it likes exclusively. And when you're menuing to these unlock areas, give it a second first, because you can soft lock if you hit the button too early. And that can use up whatever bait you have. You have to reset with the home menu. Yeah, sorry, it was black and purple that are exclusive. Red and green are the ones that aren't. So I'm going to try to get a bad combination. Like, let's say all I have is purple and, I don't know, white. Now, this could work out in our favor, or we could get a little tiny fish. It worked out in our favor. What a miracle. I never get luck this good during an actual run. And if you are doing Prelude RTA, like let's say you don't have infinite coins, so you can only do a run every now and then, time would end when you pull the fish out of the water. Now this fight is tough. You gotta pay very close attention to both meters on the screen, You gotta be able to stop and start kind of interchangeably. There's an audio cue that you're trying to look for, and that's when this meter is about 3/4 full, the music will start to swell up. If you're at around this level, like a little less than 3/4, when this happens, you should be good. And be very, very careful with line tension here, because if you lose the big boy, you lose yourself like a minute. And that would be time for Prelude RTA. That's actually really, really good luck. If I wasn't purposefully taking this slow to explain things, I'd say this was a good run so far. And you're going to want to skip her text. Just for the heck of it, I'm going to show what a bad combination might look like. Let's say this is what you had. You toss it in. Oh no, a moderately sized boy. Depending on the amount of bait you have left, it might be worth it to just throw in everything you got and hope for the best. But if you don't have infinite coins, that could be kind of a detriment. Another A+, really. Oh, one thing I need to mention is that size differences do matter. Like, an A+ fish will give you more experience and more gold. I kind of passed through it, but it was probably like... I think it's like 2.5 times gold in experience. And as you can see, the split after this is named Sword Rod. And, well, the game's just going to shower us with money real quick. It's called Sword Rod, and I'll explain more about that as we get close to it, but what you need to know for now is we're trying to get to 30,000 gold as quick as can be. And of course I'm holding R for the duration of this cutscene, as well as all these other cutscenes. Now she's going to give us a floral rod. That's also going to come useful later. Because this particular rod has a skill, which is a special, like a passive ability, think about it, if you were like in a traditional RPG. It'll just give you a bonus. I believe that one is higher gauge span when you're on a beach. But this is where the run starts to get really interesting, because what we're doing now, the places we go and the order we take care of objectives is completely random. It's entirely based off the bait color we have for these dogs, or cats, if you have bad taste. Got them. But now you gotta pay even closer attention to the fish you're trying to get. Or to the colors you get, because that can have a huge effect on where you go. So let's say just gotta match through a few text boxes. A couple things we don't use in this category are explained there. That's alright. So like you can see, this one likes blue and purple, not great for us. This one likes a bunch of colors we have, but it also has a bunch of friends who like those same colors. This one only likes light green of what we have. And this is yellow and purple. I'm gonna take us to this area. I believe this is... I forget the name of the island. It's not Mermaid Island. But this island, the first spot here, is a problem area. Because as you can see, our goldfish is the question mark boy. And then everyone else likes the same bait as him. So it makes him a bit difficult to pick out. I'm going to go with yellow, purple, brown. I don't think we got him. Yeah, we didn't get him. You can tell when you're gonna get the fish, not only by the size sometimes, but they'll always call over any other dogs you have. Or any other helpers you have, I guess. See, that's a little bit tricky. I'll probably leave timestamps in the descriptions for each area kind of in order as I get to them. So if you want to jump around that way, that's totally fine. Now, see, we used up most of our good bait, so I'm going to save one green, and then do like a light green. Just so it's a little bit bigger. Because bigger fish generally don't like to go for single pieces of bait very much. That was a bad reaction. And then once again, that's not our boy. Which is alright. We still have more chances. We did play it safe for a reason. And of course, getting misses like this takes up a bunch of time. But for a run with this much RNG, it's pretty much unavoidable that you won't get some. This looks like a large boy. And I missed the reaction again. But this could be the one we're looking for. It was the right size. We have the 10 guys behind us. Okay. And it's an A+, which is great for our EXP count. So not only are we trying to get to 30,000 gold as quick as can be, we're also trying to get to rank 15 before the end of the game. Because the last area won't open up until we are. The game's just going to give us a few more things. Actually, this is a lot closer than I usually get to being ready for Sword Rod. Like, if you get an A+, I believe it's called like a Laid Sichthus, the first boss fish. If you can get him A+, you're way ahead. But that's not something you can count on considering how RNG dependent it is. So we just managed to clear that area fairly well. Once again, I wouldn't expect to get it that consistently all the time. Like I said, it is a problem area. Let's explore our options once more. Okay, in a situation like this, don't go here. Under no circumstances should you go here, because there's no way you can advance, and you'll just lose all that bait and you'll lose all that time. I'm just looking over each option. These aren't great options, which is exactly what I wanted to show off. Like you can see there, a lot of shared bait preferences. We're gonna go here because this is another problem area. I believe this is Atlantis Island, number 1. And you see how, like, if I choose like white, orange, and brown, or sorry, white, yellow, and brown, that the fish and the octopus have the same exact preferences, barring like purple. If you can come here with purple and orange, that's ideal, but that's not always going to be the case. So let's try yellow, white, and orange. And you can see that the water is sparkling very, very brightly. I'll explain that in a second. We did not get either the fish or the octopus, and we also missed the reaction. Should probably take my finger off the R button when I'm trying to do this, if I'm trying to explain through it. But what can you do? Alright, not our boy, no big deal. We played it safe for a reason. Right, so coming up is what's called a feeding frenzy. So just skip her text. You can take your finger off the R button now, and I would recommend it. You're just going to want to tap the icons on the screen, and whatever pattern works for you. I personally like change my grip and use 2 thumbs. You're generally going to want to shoot for as many, I mean obviously as many as you can, because it's free grinding. But whatever you can get there is A-okay. Like, if all you can get is 46, that's fine. My highest, I think, is 60, which is still pretty good. This is not turning out well for us. I'm just going to throw in the yellow and white. This might not work. That's okay. It might work, actually. This could be the flounder, or it could be the octopus. Either one could be it. Alright, so we got the flounder. If you get the octopus there, it's no big deal. Just kind of like reset. Or not reset, but like just come back with a different spread of bait and try again. You don't have to do it immediately, Like, if you miss a certain area, and then your next round of bait is really good for a different area, don't go for the run back. Like, if we came back here with purple and orange, and like 3 yellows, that would be one thing. But don't just do the run back immediately, if you can help it. Alright, and the game's just gonna give us a bunch of things. And then we're gonna leave and reset. We are almost... Oh my god. We're almost to 30,000 gold. This doesn't usually happen this quickly, honestly. Oh, excuse me, sorry. Just kind of slipped out. Alright, so we got orange, we got black, we got light blue, got pink, another black. Pretty decent spread. For the areas we have right now, I don't think it's spectacular, but let's see what we got. Black and pink could work. Green and red, we have it, but it's not ideal. Black, pink, and orange, we have plenty of those, so let's keep our eye on that one. And then light green, we're definitely going to go here. Some of the best music in the game in this particular spot. So you can see we're trying to catch what is very clearly an eel. We need pink and black and orange. Now, this particular fish has what we like to call exclusive preferences, because he's the only one in the area that'll eat orange bait. So like, if we just threw in one orange bait, look, we got him already. Easy peasy. Now, I wouldn't recommend this, unless it's your only option, to just do one piece of bait, because oftentimes you'll instead just reel in a piece of garbage, like a can or a boot or a jellyfish. And those give you barely any points, barely any money, and of course that eats up even more time. Let's try to get another one. Let's say like pink and orange. Sorry, pink and black. Now that's a combination that a lot of these guys share. But as you can see, it still worked out in our favor. Because we just so happen to get another moray. Now, let's say you still have some bait left. Now, because we are trying to level grind, and we had a not spectacular feeding frenzy earlier, we're going to throw in everything we have, and just say, hey, maybe we'll get something good. As long as it's not actual garbage, you should be able to reel in anything and be able to get something decent out of it. Alright, let's see where we're at. Are we at 30,000 gold already? Oh my goodness. Right, so let me explain why we're trying to get to 30,000 gold. We were looking to get this item here, the treasure rod. You notice here that it has 2 stars next to it? That's something we've been keeping our eyes on kind of in the background. We're going to hit no, we're going to go to the combine rod button. She's going to explain a handful of mechanics here. Basically, if you can merge 2 rods together to make a new one, and if you merge 2 of the same rod, you can get one with upgraded abilities, or the ability to upgrade it more. So let's say we'll merge the seashell and the toy rod to get another basic rod, which is the one we have right now. Then we're going to take whatever rods we have, and we're going to do the same thing again. Like this floral and crystal. And as you can see there, this particular rod has the coastal gauge boost skill we talked about earlier. If you get rods out of a treasure chest, you could possibly get a better skill than that, but there's no reason not to use it if you have it. Oh my. Right, so this is not optimal, basically. Because we can only get these 3, which is okay. We're going to merge these 2. We're going going to say no to equipping it. Then we're going to merge it with the one that we're holding. And this should be a little bit easier to follow if it's in like your native language that you can actually read. I'm just kind of going off of memory here. I'm just going to kind of back out, see if we can get maybe another rod. Can help us out a bit more. We did not. That's okay. So we're going to take our upgraded basic rod, merge it with the treasure rod, and now we have the sword rod. And you can see that second stat there is awfully high. That is called pulling power. And that is the stat we went through all this trouble to upgrade. Right, so she's going to explain gauge span, pulling power, and the other two stats. One we can't upgrade any further. You're going to want to take all the money you have and put it into pulling power first. Then, if you have anything left over, maybe some into gauge span. This particular one has really poor gauge span, so I'm going to double up on that. If you added another basic rod in, like let's say you got one out of a chest or something, you'd be able to upgrade a stat further. But really, if you have 6 pulling power, you're pretty much set to go. Little slight differences won't make a whole bunch of difference. And let's say you did have that 6th slot and you didn't have enough money, that's okay too. I wasn't holding R, that's my bad. And now you're going to see when we pull in some fish, it's going to be way quicker. The punishment for missing a reaction is about to go down dramatically. And boss fish become, well, for one, possible. Because, like, we were barely able to sneak by on that first boss. But now we have to have an upgraded rod to pull them in with any level of success. The only other chance you'd be able to do it with is if you had more than one of this. If you're able to bring in the fish more than once, you could wear it down. But for our sake, that's going to be way too slow. That's less consistent than just upgrading your rod and being able to just go for it. And again, we're going to check our combinations. We're going to check each spot we have access to, see what's looking good. Nothing's really looking good, but we have 2 dark greens, and this eel loves dark green. So we're going to go here. And then we're just going to use the dark green that this eel loves so much. Maybe mix one with a purple, just because it's got low chance of spawning anything else. This is probably like a stick. Let's see, sorry, a boot. That can happen. Sometimes you'll just reel in what you think is the best possible combination, and you'll just get, like, actual garbage. Now here you're presented with a crossroads. You could use one piece of green bait and maybe get the one you're looking for. Or you could merge all of these together and get something you're definitely... Like, you'll definitely get something, but it might not be what you're looking for. I'd say for now, play it safe and just toss in a green bait. As you can see, we got our eel. I gotta let go of this R button, man. Like, you can see how you can see he was so mad, but because we had the power of the sword rod at our disposal, we were still able to pull him in no problemo. And we were able to get the spot. I'm gonna throw one more thing in for safety. The more you play the game, the more you can get kind of accustomed to the EXP curve. You'll be able to judge how much you need based on your progress. But for starting out, I definitely say it's better to be over-leveled than under-leveled. Because if you're under-leveled, you have to stop and go grind. And again, we are trying to get to level 15. And of course, as you're playing, the order you are going to hit these areas is more than likely going to be different than the order I'm hitting them in. Please don't try to go in the order I'm going just because I'm the one doing it. I wish I could get sword rod luck that good in my actual runs though, because that was fantastic. And again, we're holding R here, just kind of speed everything along. Pay close attention to what you're getting. Alright, yellow and red's not bad. That's pretty good, honestly. Let's see what else we got, though. As you're starting out, I'd say check every spot, even if you know what's gonna be there. That's still something I tend to do, even though I'm probably a more advanced player. I mean, the only player at the time of recording, but whatever works. So it's not just enough to have the bait it wants. You want to try to have good numbers of what it wants. Because like you can see here, it does have yellow, red, and white, but we only have one of each. So let's see what else we got. One of each. One of each. Okay, bad example. Because we don't have a ton of options one way or the other. But just for the sake of it, I think we'll be best off going here. That, and we also haven't cleared any of this island yet. So let's say, yeah, I don't know, purple and pink. No. No, black and pink. Now, for this particular area, I believe the golden combination is blue and pink. If you can get it, you can't always. As you can see there, we get this little pop-up about the skill, because we are at the coast, so we get the coastal gauge boost. Doesn't really come in handy at all, but it's like an extra backup. So we didn't get what we were looking for. Just gonna throw everything in, see what we get. It could work, it could fail. Looks like it worked. But of course, if you let go of R, you'll be able to get those reactions consistently, but you'll lose a fair chunk of time on the actual bait, like, nibbling process. So that's why I'd usually, like, tap R over and over to kind of speed it up just enough. But when you're just starting out, again, do whatever works best for you. Because it can be a little tough. Like I've been showing, I'm the world record holder for this game, and I still sometimes don't get perfect reactions. And especially do it on, like, boss fish, or if you only have one chance left to catch what you're trying to get. Because messing up like that is just brutal. Like, it'll all go down the tubes, as they say. Alright, so this is pretty good spread. Like, we have red and green, which means we could go there. We have red and green, which means we could go there. Could go... Like, you'll often have options... Okay, don't want to go here unless you have more than one pink or light green. I'll say that now. But the thing is, during this kind of mid-game section, you have a lot of options at your disposal, depending on your bait preference. So let's go here. I don't remember the names of the islands, but I'll have the proper ones in the, as I said, timestamped in the description if you want to learn about each area in order. I don't think it's really necessary to, but I'd rather have the resource there and have it not be used than not have it there and someone need to use it. Oh. And as you can tell there, not the one we're looking for, because we didn't have the 10-pin formation of dogs behind us, pulling on our back. But now we're going to have to make a little riskier of a decision. Because blue and red is all we have, and that's a pretty common preference for this area. Now we're gonna have to do the throw everything in, see what happens tactic, which surprisingly is a legitimate tactic. Ooh, missed that reaction. But we should have our boy. Yep, that there's a largemouth bass. The boy we need. And you can always tell if it's the right fish or not, because you'll get this screen here. It'll kind of move on for you. So, like, if you get two fish that look the same, keep an eye out for that screen. And let's say you had more money now. If you wanted to go in and upgrade your rod, we can't, because we only have 5 options, but let's say you wanted to. This would be where you do it. In this case, I'd probably upgrade the 3rd slot, which I believe is durability. That makes the tension meter fill up a little bit slower. And then resilience is making it fall back down quicker. They're pretty much the same thing, gameplay-wise. Like, 3 of those stats are specifically about the gauge, and then one's about pulling power, which is the one we specifically have maxed out. I'll also leave a description in the description, things that can be combined into the basic rod, which is the one we need to do all the crafting stuff. I mean. All right, we have really good bait for there. Like, it could be tempting to go here, but I'm gonna say go to this island here because the koi is here, and the koi only likes 2 types of bait. So when you have both of them, you want to come here if you have it open. Now there's something that happens very, very rarely with the koi. I don't think it's going to happen now. Ooh, I missed. But we still have the koi on our line. You can see there, it's a 3-star fish. And just like rods, if you get a chest from this fish, which can happen randomly, you will get a 3-star fishing rod. But currently we have another feeding frenzy. Oh, I'm sloppy, I'm sorry. Alright, 48's not terrible, but it's something I'll get better at with time, don't worry. Let's throw in another green and pink, see if we can't get another koi, because I really want to show off this koi chest. So, I don't think we're going to get it, but what the koi chest can do, it'll have a rod of either 3 stars or 2 inside. And if it has 3 stars inside, that's possibly better than the rod you have now. There's only... I don't know the exact stats for each 3-star rod, but if you want to upgrade to whatever 3-star rod you might get, make sure it has more pulling power than the one you have now, because otherwise it's not worth it one bit. We should level up pretty comfortably here. Yeah, we're on good pace EXP wise at the moment. And the game is still gonna shower us with gifts. So, just a heads up, this is around, like, you have the sword rod normally at around, like, 180, or 100 or 80 coins left, which would be around this spot, assuming no misses, like, no empty-handed. But, I use the different words for it all the time, but, like, if you were to go to a spot and not catch the fish you're trying to go for, that's what I mean. If you didn't have any of those, this would be around the time you'd normally get the sword rod. But that luck with the first boss was just insane. Right, now we can go here, because we do have plenty of options for this boy. Oop, nope. Nope. So this guy really likes his light green. But we're gonna mix it with a white just in case. And there he is. awesome. And he's the only large boy in the area. Like this large, rotund... Look at this boy. He's the only one in this area that'll trigger the dogs to come over and help you. So you'll know when you get him. And then, just for safety's sake, we'll toss in what we have one more time. And again, you can really see the power of the sword rod. Like, you can get these guys no problem. Like the music barely had time to kick in before he was already out of the water. And for anyone wondering, you know, if it's like a save the animals thing for you, anything you don't catch or put into a tank is released back into the wild, so you can rest assured that this run will save the animals. And so you might be noticing we're kind of coming up quick on my second island split. That's a-okay. There's a lot that can happen in between runs, or in between each island. That's kind of why it makes it difficult to split, because, like, you know, anything can happen, really. You could hit all the island, like, you can hit all the final spots of each island in a row. Or you could hit one now and hit another one later and kind of space them out. There's no real way to predict it, so your splits are going to look a little bit crazy for a fair while. Alright, this area is a problem area, so I'm going to get back to it later when we're a little bit more well-stocked. But this one, this nice, very pink lake, it's pretty easy to get the one you're looking for, I'd say. Because he has not one, but two baits that only he loves. And if you have both of them, you can just chuck it right in. Look at that. No problemo. Now, you're not always going to get that kind of luck. You could do everything I just did and then reel in like a can or a boot or a jellyfish. Those things happen. It's part of the game. So let's say you had like a brown, and that was it. The one time I want to get bad luck. Like, I'm trying to explain how this run can go poorly, and it just keeps going well. I swear. Yeah, hey Jack, what's going on? Thank you for the army of Coralines in my chat. Again? Really? But yeah, this area is pretty simple if you have a pink or a brown, especially if you have more than one. And we got another that's the first treasure chest of the run, but now that we have the sword rod, it actually doesn't help us any. Like, you usually get one or two chests earlier on, but because we got 30,000 gold so early, all the achievements we'd normally get are just kind of behind us now. That's why we didn't have enough to actually merge 3 rods together. And that happens. You know, this game is a little bit unpredictable. Quite like real fishing. Yes, it is, Jack. Yes, it is. I'm trying to explain as best I can anyway. And again, keep very close eye on the kind of baits you get. Like, if you don't go to an area, you can kind of keep tabs on what's there, kind of in the back of your head, or you can have a list pulled up. I tend not to do that, but again, whatever works for you. Right. So as you get more spots cleared, you might notice your options become a little more limited. And that's just kind of part of the game. But I think, statistics-wise, we have not the best shot there. Not there either. You can see there's a lot of places where you only get one shot. But here we have 3, so we're going to go here. And again, you can notice some of the islands are starting to get filled pretty quick, while other ones haven't seen a lot of love. And that's just how it can go sometimes. It's unpredictable. Now this area can be problematic. Yeah, I'm gonna upload this, Jack. Of course I am. Now this area can be problematic. I would say come back to this area if you have black and brown. Because black and white's not a good combo, white and brown's not always a good combo. But oh my god. I'm trying to get bad luck here. Specifically to show what happens if you get bad... Alright, here we go. Oh my god, are you serious? Are you... It's the one again. Oh my god! This is the one time I wanted to go poorly, and it's going great. Why? Oh, okay. That happens too. Be very careful not to jump the gun. Don't try to predict when it's gonna bite. Especially if it's already nibbled the line a few times. Don't do that. I think we're solid on EXP for now, so I'm just gonna hit the leave button. It's okay if you have extra bait left over, because we are on great pace for having enough EXP anyway. No, Jack, it's quite alright. It's absolutely fine. Like, especially if you have any questions, please ask them. Like, anything you've wondered about the run, just go ahead and shout it out. Like, you can even keep your chatting up if you want. Like, it's alright. I really want to start getting this area cleared, but the areas are just not, like, see here, there's no way we can advance here because we don't have the right base, or the right baits. Now something you're gonna want to do when you go to these areas, again, slow down, be careful, because if you jump the gun, you can soft lock, and then you have to reset with the home menu, and that loses a bunch of time and a bunch of coins that you might not necessarily have. Could go to the boss area, but you can see our options are kind of lacking, and there's not a lot of exclusivity with bait preference. But then here, yeah, I'll show this area off, because this area has given me trouble in the past. It has cost me more than one world record in the past to this particular spot. Alright, let me explain a bit about the soft lock in a bit. Hold on. Yeah, see, this is not the good combination we're looking for. This is probably no, not a piece of garbage, but not good either. Let's just throw everything in and see what happens. Oh my god, really? This could be the one we're looking for. Okay. That's the one we're looking for. This area has always given me so much trouble. 'Cause I've actually lost like 15 minutes to this one spot alone. You're gonna want to have to come back. If you need to come back, make sure you have as many of the colors as it likes as possible. Even if it's like one of each, that's still better odds. So yeah, a little bit about the soft lock. If you're holding R, and you were to go to one of those areas... Oh, wait. There are no play coins, which gives me more time to talk about the... Alright, I'll talk about the soft lock in a second. I'm going to put up a disclaimer on the screen. It's just something that I get a lot of people asking about. This is allowed within the rules of the category, for now. If we find some sort of exploit that allows us to bypass the play coin requirement, we'll get rid of it. But for now, it's mandatory. And that is why you need play coins for this particular category. Because there's no way to finish in under 300 with the strats we know now. Alright, a little more about the soft lock. If you're holding R, and you choose one of those locked areas on the very first frame that you can, the screen will appear black and the unlocking animation will never end. I'll post a link to the discovery of it in my description. Because it's something you want to keep your eyes on. It's like, excuse me. It's not something you want to forget about. Because, like, if you forget about it, and it happens, like, I don't know, 50 minutes into a world record pace run, for instance, you know, that's kind of not good. So even if you take, like a couple frames that you know you're not going to push that button, then you'll save yourselves a whole world of worry. Oh my god, does nothing like light green? Alright, so this is something I wanted to explain. You don't always have good options. But with the options we have, I'd say this is the best, because we have two of the colors at once. Green and yellow are the exclusive bait for this guy. I believe it's a carp. But we don't have either of those, so let's just toss in a red and a purple and see what comes out. Yeah, Jack, I posted a video about it, but I think I was the one who discovered it. But these games aren't exactly popular, so a glitch like that wouldn't make its rounds. Plus, it's literally frame perfect. So we didn't get it. We got a lame tadpole. So we're gonna try the throw everything in, see what happens method. Could work out. And it just so happened to work out. Why is this the run where I have all the luck? I want to show off what happens when things don't go well. And everything's going well. Alright, one more feeding frenzy. I'd usually stop after 2, but again, we're trying to play it safe. And I did have kind of poor ones earlier on. My left thumb is not accurate today. Oh, geez, 55. Here I am saying I wasn't accurate. But again, that's something you're going to get better at the more you do it. There's no real good way to practice unless you know you can get a feeding frenzy and you, like, reset the game without saving. Because, like, if I were to hit the home menu right now and exit the game, I'm not going to. But that would allow me to do the whole day over again. That's also something you might want to do if none of your bait is any good, but you don't realize till you're already in the middle of an island. Like, you can hit the back arrow and go back to the clubhouse if your bait is that bad. But if you choose a spot anyway, it's better to just go to the home menu and start the day over. It'll lose you about 45 seconds, but it's still better than sitting there wasting your time throwing your bait at nothing. Whew. Alright, so depending on the bait we get, we could go to that unlocked island, or that unlocked boss fight, at any time. Just because it's open doesn't mean you have to go to it. Like, we could go to it right now, but our options are very poor, because we only have 2 of one of its colors. Meanwhile, we have this area, which is barely opened. We have this island, which... yeah... Oh yeah, I've mentioned it, but I'll bring it up again. Your splits are going to be crazy, because you don't know what's going to happen in between, like, Sword Rod and Second Island. Like, my gold for the 5th island is, like, 2 minutes, which... there's no way you're going to finish that in 2 minutes. I mean, my splits are also going to seem kind of whack, because I'm going slow compared to my PB. But... for now... it's just what it is. Let's try going here. I personally would feel more comfortable if we had the right bait to go open up the other islands a bit more. But, again, you gotta play with what you're given. Let's throw in one black and one brown, or one orange, I mean. Oh yeah, one thing I forgot to mention about this particular area, the fish you're trying to go for has a mini meter, for some reason. So with the sword rod and 10 dogs at your side, it's not that big a deal. Like as you can see, we pulled them in pretty much instantly. And then after we leave here, we'll have another boss island open to our disposal. But that's the one that we need to be at rank 15 for, so we're not quite there yet. It's good that we have it available, but it's going to be a little while before we get to it. And again, when you are reeling in a fish, especially one with a meter, take your hand off the R trigger, because it's going to hurt after a while if you just leave it there for an hour and a half, let's say. Especially if you're doing more than one run. It hurts after a while. And we got an A+, that's going to help out a lot. That's going to help out a whole heck of a lot, oh my goodness. Like you can see, we got way more gold for that than we normally would. Now, granted, that doesn't help so much now that money is useless to us, but the EXP bonus is pretty hefty. Something I've kind of touched upon earlier, but would like to go into more detail now, is version differences. The only known difference is in speed of text boxes. Latin languages are all roughly the same. Like, that would be, like, you know, English, French, Spanish, Portuguese. And then Japanese is the fastest that we know of. Korean maybe could be faster, but that's a lot harder to set your region to. Is there any difference between 5 islands and 9 islands? At the moment, no. 9 islands is the category where you do the post-game as well. It has a few more islands. It's a lot more RNG heavy. Requires way more play coins. But at the moment, there is not that much of a difference. Now this area I'm at now can give issues. It helps to come here if you have dark green and red, mostly. But again, you gotta work with what you're given. So let's do the throw everything in, see what happens strategy. I have looked into, for this category, going to the other islands early, and then being able to catch the fish there, but that's still not explored, really. It's not something that's, certainly not something we do in runs. But yeah, if you're just starting out, I would say stick with 5 islands. It's the best category for people who just want to see what the game is like. If you don't have access to as many play coins as most other people, I'd say maybe Prelude RTA, which would stop after you catch the first boss. But yeah, no real differences at the moment. 9 islands, I hate saying it like this, but 9 islands is like in Gen 2, where you can like beat Johto and then go to Kanto. 5 islands is like just Johto, and then 9 islands is like Johto plus Kanto. There's like marginal differences, but nothing that would like redefine the run at this point. As you can see, we're not rank 15, we can't go there yet. We could go here to rank up a whole lot, but we don't have good bait for it. We don't have good bait for down here either. We really don't have good bait for a lot of places, I'm starting to notice. So again, you are going to have to take some risks as you get toward that end of the game. As your options kind of wear down, so too is your ability to kind of work around what you got. Or, sorry, that's going to have to be boosted up. And of course we get it first try. This is not always going to happen. I know it might seem like it's going to happen because this live guide has had insanely good luck. It's not always going to happen. Don't count on it always happening. Don't expect it to always happen. In fact, expect the opposite. You're going to get a lot of bad luck when you play this game. Like, I've had runs get past the hour mark trying to beat a 111, and then it all falls apart there. And I'm not saying that to discourage anyone from trying to play the game. It's just something you have to look out for. And of course, with 10 dogs and the sword rod, bringing these guys in is no big deal. You do gotta keep an eye on your meters. You know, the fish's angry, you know, the fish's orneriness, I guess. But yeah, once you do that, whatever you have, you're not gonna get any more significant EXP bonus, especially since we're already level 12, 13. So, we just hit gold. We could merge the sword rod we have with the one we just got, but we don't for one specific reason. About 3 of the upgrade points we just put in will at random get chopped, and we'd have to put more money into them again. And the amount of time it takes is not worth adding 1 extra stat point. And of course, now we can split. We've completed 2 of the islands so far. You can really split anywhere between catching the fish and leaving the clubhouse. I split at leaving the clubhouse because it allows me to basically continue, like, it doesn't mess up my inputs because it's going on during basically a loading screen. Why you no use cat? Right, so whether or not you prefer dogs or cats, some future YouTube comment, yeah. Whether or not you prefer dogs or cats doesn't have any bearing on the run that we know of. I mean, anything could, in theory, have a bearing on the run. Like, I always joke about how the hat you wear has a bearing on the run. So this area, very straightforward. If you have the exclusive bait, you're pretty much golden. And as you can see, we pulled this guy in no problem. He was just gone. Probably wasn't the right sound of. Probably not the right sound effect, but oh well. Pulled him right out of the water. And then of course, we're set on EXP pretty much, but for safety's sake, I'm gonna throw in one more time. I keep missing reactions though, and you can see how it's not making as big a deal as it was in the start of the run, because our rod is just that much more powerful. It's literally better in every single way. Now that, we've cleared 20 spots out of the, I believe it's 28 we do for this category. And of course, obviously, you could split on how many spots you've cleared. I don't like to do that though, because it doesn't really give me a good gauge of how things went for that split, I don't think. Because like 5 spots cleared could be like, you had 2 feeding frenzies, and then 2 misses, you know? At least with an island, you have a general feel for how that segment of the game went. But again, use whatever works for you. You know, this game's still got a lot of room for growth, I feel. So, just again, do whatever helps you the most. And of course, we don't have a lot of options now. There's 2 places we can actually go to, and our options are not stellar. But I am going to choose this one because white is an exclusive bait. So it gives us some chance. Not a great chance, mind you, but some chance. Oh yeah, of course, first try. Now, of course, you're going to want to come here with as much bait as you can possibly get. but whatever you have will do. Especially as you're going and clearing up those islands. We got another feeding frenzy coming up. I am going to heads up not going to do anything during it. Because we are plenty good on EXP. There's no reason to do it. Just take your hand off the controller, maybe shake it out if it's starting to sting a little bit. Don't want to damage your hands playing this game, or any game for that matter. But yeah, if we had done another feeding frenzy, we would have been waiting there for like 30 more seconds as that bar fills up. Which is just not necessary. As we catch these next boss fish, our EXP will go through the roof. We already have enough as it stands. If you, say, got 3 bad feeding frenzies earlier, that would be a good time to kind of catch up. It's not necessary, per se, but you can do it if you really, really need to. Are all these dogs you get mail? Like, none of them have the little dress on their shirt. I'm just noticing that now. It's weird. And again, as you can see, options are limited when you get toward the late game. I've always called it bottlenecking. I'm not sure if that's like an appropriate term for it or not, but that's just what always has stuck with me. We're gonna try to go here, I think. Because there's orange, which is exclusive bait, which is something you can work around. Like, I could throw in 1 orange and probably reel him in just fine. Yep, just fine. Now again, that's not always gonna happen. You know, you could throw in an orange, or you could throw in every combination of bait he likes, and you could still not get him. That's just something you gotta have to deal with. Like, I could try to show it off now. Like, let's say all I had for this guy was a blue. Oh no, it's not our boy. Darn. I don't think I've ever actually seen that fish. At least not in a long time. You know what, just for the heck of it, I'm just gonna toss in everything. If you only have 1 piece of bait left that'll actually catch the guy you're looking for, just tossing in everything could work. It gives you a better shot than just tossing in 1 piece most of the time. Like, look at that. Another boy. What is that fish? I would like to own one in real life. It's very cute. Anyway. So we're very close to hitting rank 14. Which would put us even closer to hitting 15, of course. And if you haven't gotten the play coins, those achievements you see popping up that don't give any kind of reward, those would be a plaza ticket. Sorry if I said play coins when describing it before. But yeah, you can earn, like, I think it's like 10 plaza tickets, just kind of playing through the speedrun. And literally, if you've gotten them more than once, you can save more time next time you do it. Like, if your first run gets all 10 tickets, let's say, the next time you do it, you're going to save yourself, like, 30 seconds just from not seeing that animation pop up. And again, I'm waiting there just for a smidge, so I don't accidentally do something catastrophically horrible. Now see, we have good bait for both areas. But the reason I'm not immediately going to the bottom one is because if we go to here, we could open up the top area just a little bit quicker. But I think because we have exclusive bait down here, I'm going to go down to the bottom. And you know what? Maybe in some cases it would be better to go to the boss earlier, But you're gonna have to go there anyway at some point, so I'd say it's just better to do it this way. And of course, light green is this fish's exclusive bait. Shares a lot of preferences with those around him, but if you have light green, you're pretty much set. Barring usual RNG stuff, of course. We're actually coming up on the end fairly quick. What's going on, Ale? How you doing? And of course, you can just toss in whatever you got. See what you pull up. We're not hurting for EXP, but that's just something you gotta kind of deal with. This is something you'll find a lot, this particular ribbon fish, I guess it's called. He shows up a fair amount if you don't have light green. Sometimes even if you do. Again, that's just something that you're gonna have to work around. So now we have 2 boss spots. Well, 1 open to us, and 2 that we can technically say are not even accessible, but 2 islands near completion, I guess is the word I'm looking for. So depending on the bait we get, we could go there. I'm looking for green, I'm looking for red, I'm looking for orange. We have red. Okay, we have 2 reds. That's not good odds. At all. So let's check what we got down here. Red and black. We're gonna go here, because that's already way, 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 way better odds. Now this guy... Let's see what does... alright. Yeah. His exclusive bait is brown, but we don't have any of that, which is fine. Because no fish other than him likes both black and red. So you can just see if you can't reel him in. And is that him? I can't tell. Yes, it is. See, if you don't have specifically the right bait, having a right combination can be just as effective. And we're good on EXP. We got 2 spots to go to. We'll definitely hit rank 15 by the time we are done with these other 2 bosses. And the way this run happened to pan out is that we hit all of the last islands right in a row. That happens on occasion. I wouldn't call it like a regular thing. Oh wait, did I split for... Okay. I just realized I actually like regular split for second island rather than skipping it. Obviously you don't skip splits if you're doing like an actual run. But I'm trying not to like mess up my average. So yeah. So let's see what we got. Gonna unlock this carefully so we don't soft lock. Not good options here. Very good options here. This one we still can't access, so we're going to here. Of course. So you gotta be real careful here, because you can see the fish there with the size B that likes green and orange. Not trying to catch him again. I'm gonna try green and red. We don't have very many chances to use it. And we get our boy. Awesome. Awesome. And again, keep an eye on both these gauges very carefully. Let up if it gets close to the end or if the fish starts acting up like that. Like, I'm not going to try to let my gauge overfill, but once it's back down just a smidge, you know, it'll go back to green. You can start winding up. And again, you're trying to aim for about 3/4 by the time the music swells. Or when the effect comes on screen. Anything around that or faster, and you've got it set. Yeah, the RNG for this particular run has been insanely good. I'm gonna stress again, it's not normally this good. You will get a lot, you will get misses, you will not have everything just kind of in your favor a lot. The game's gonna fight you and you have to fight back a lot of the time. Also, here's Nessie. And that's one more island taken care of. That's pretty great. Just for the heck of it, I'm not totally comfortable with the amount of EXP we have, so I'm going to toss in one more. Are we getting another Nessie? Can you even do that? You can get more than one? I didn't even know that. I thought it would only spawn one for story reasons. But you can get more than... Okay, if you're lacking on EXP by around... But when you get to a boss fish and you have enough bait, toss it in again. Because you can get like a whole nother level's worth of EXP if you can get more than one of the same boss. Which is rare. And as you can see, this fight is not going as well as the previous one was. It's going to be a lot closer. Might even lose the fish if we're not careful. Yep, we're around the 3/4 mark, so it's tight, but it's doable. Alright. And also, there's Nessie. Again. And now we are safely at level 15, which means now we have both options on the table. We can go to either island, depending on the bait we get. We've got ourselves a fancy new fishing rod that we aren't going to use, because we don't need it for the run. But yeah, if you're ever in a pinch, just try to catch another one of the same monster. Now, the run won't always end like this, where you have two spots you can go to. Sometimes you won't have enough EXP right at the end, and you'll have to pick one or the other. Sometimes, you know, if it's going especially poorly, you'll have to grind between the 4th and 5th island to get to level 15, which sucks, but it has happened before. Like here we have brown and light green, could do it. And here we're gonna unlock it just, again, carefully. Where we need light blue and green, cannot do it at all. We're going here. Hey, what's the joke, Jack? I don't get it. Alright, and of course we get it first try. I am so mad. I never get luck this good during an actual run. This luck has been phenomenal so far. Oh, jeez. And of course, we got this guy up before the music swell happened. Like, it's the lower level guys, like the level 7, which is this one, level 10, which was the first one we saw. You can deal with them pretty handily. But again, I wouldn't go there if you don't have the sword rod, because you're going to be screwed. And we have another cutscene. Coraline, he yells. And then he shows up, he does science-y talk. Or something. I haven't actually like paid close attention to the story since I switched language. Oh. Didn't split properly. So, something I haven't mentioned is that if you were to, say, have a couple misses during your run, you went to an area and you didn't catch what you needed, or you had to, close out the game and restart with the home menu for some reason, you would, at this point, probably have to go and get more play coins. And that would be kind of a bummer. But that is why it's required to have... Or, not why it's required to do it, but why this category pretty much... You need to have access to more play coins. Alright, and time is going to be coming up when the fish we catch... If we catch him this round, when he jumps out of the water, that will be time. Again, we're mixing exclusive baits. Didn't pan out well. Darn. I'm not even going to catch him. Okay, our luck is not spectacular, which is what I wanted. So I'm going to do throw everything in. Alright, so we didn't get him. And you can tell because of the size. Oh, hey, Plaid, what's going on? Yeah, that's not the one we're looking for. The first miss of the run is at the end, of all places. I'm actually going to reset with the home menu, because waiting for the feeding frenzy to end and then go all the way back to the clubhouse would take a whole lot longer. And that will, again, if, like, let's say that was your last 20 coins, you need to go reset for coins. And that happens. But yeah, we're right at the home stretch here. The fact we didn't have that kind of luck any point earlier is really, really surprising. And yeah, if you have empty-handed trips like that more than, I believe it's 3 times, then you'll have to reset. Or, not reset, but like refill your coins. And I'm looking here, we have dark green, that's good. Dark green, that's good. Light blue also is very good. So we have good chances, again, to catch this boy. Alright, and again, one of each... I'm just going to use one green bait, because that's exclusive. And that's a piece of garbage. No thanks. See, that's why it's helpful to mix baits for bigger fish, because they won't just go for just one, you know? They're hungry boys. They got big tums. Really? And you can tell when it's not the fish, too, because it'll be really, really, really big. Alright, there's probably no chance of the large boy. Yep, no chance. Not happening this time. See, this is the kind of luck that you can get anywhere in the run. The fact that it's all bunched up here in the end is both hilarious and not likely. You're gonna get this kind of luck more often than just the very end. And that's, again, that's not me trying to discourage anyone. Oh my god, Clay, what's going on? How you doing, man? You came just in time for the ending. Whose birthday is it, by the way? Because it's not mine. Did I turn alert? Yeah, alerts are on. Why aren't they working? It's not showing up, but thank you for the bits. Jack, it's not my birthday. Alright, so again, we don't have very good chances. But what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take some of these baits that no one likes. Okay, one person likes. No, I'm not even gonna do that. I'm just gonna use one green. There he is. Again, you can have these things where you can have the exact right bait preference and still lose the run. Or not lose the run, but not get the thing you're looking for. It happens quite a bit. I gotta go fix my Streamlabs preferences, 'cause that should have shown up. Oh, you. What a card. Oh my god, please. Clay, don't do that to me. Alright, and I'm being careful right here at the end, but... time. Ignore that, that's for when I don't PB. But yeah, that is Ultimate Angler 5 Islands. The guide done live, as they say. If you have any questions about the game that I didn't cover here on the video... Oh, goodness, another feeding frenzy, okay. Time has already ended, so you could go for this if you wanted to, if you got in this situation. I'm not gonna. My hands hurt. Alright, so that is time. Again, if you have any questions, put them down in the comments. If there's anything I didn't cover, please ask. I'd rather that information be there than not have it there. If you would like to join the Discord for all the Street Pass games, you can use the link in the description. I'll have everything there for you. I'll have a link to the speedrun.com page where you can probably find updated rule sets for the game, should something change in the future. What else am I saying? If you can join out of the Discord, or you can check on the SR.com page, like I just said, to get information about getting more play coins. But yeah, if you've been interested in learning this game, I really hope this is a helpful tool. I know the Find Me one I did earlier has seen some success. If there's someone you know who's thinking about getting into speedrunning, but they don't know what game to play, I would really appreciate it if you showed them this video. Because, you know, this could be the game for them. I don't know. Yeah, that appears to be it for me. Thank you so much for watching. I hope this gets you interested in the game. Thank you, have a good day.